All right, out of the park baseball fans, release day is almost here, and we want to dive in today on a road to release with a perfect team. And join us right now is the director of product management, Nicolino Di Benedetto. I don't know which is longer, your title or your name. We'll just go with Nico and perfect team. Is that good for you?
It was always fun as a kid to do the Scantron test because my name never fit. It never, absolutely. The first or last name never fit, especially when you add the space in the last name. But yeah, no, it's great to be here, Dr. D. Every year I love having this conversation, talking about how things are going to change, especially from the competitive tournament standpoint.
Well, let's dive in. Before we do, because I know there's super competitive players out there, but there's also people who are just learning about Perfect Team for the first time. And for those of you who are enjoying the base game and you go, well, what is this Perfect Team? Nico, could you explain in a nutshell what Perfect Team is and why people should get excited and try it out in Out of the Park 27?
So Perfect Team has evolved so much over the years, going back to PT19 or OOTP 19. But what Perfect Team does is it's your card pack opening game. So you've got your legends, it's essentially the ultimate fantasy baseball, right? You've got legends across the board from all different eras, all different years. You can find the cards in packs. Every week we're releasing more and more content. So there's always players to go get. And you're building your team kind of like what we would do as kids with your baseball cards. You'd build teams with your cards. Except here, you run through simulations, you build your lineups, everything, you run through sims, and you've got results. And a season in a league play is a week. So Monday to Saturday, and then Sunday are your playoffs. There's sims every 30 minutes, obviously with the overnight sleep period. But you're going every day from 10 a.m. Eastern to 1 a.m. Eastern time. You've got sims going every 30 minutes. And that league play creates a ladder system for promotion and relegation. Everyone wants to get their Perfect League trophy, which we will have again, a new one this year that people will be competing for. We will also have more Perfect League trophies than we ever had before for this coming year. So it just creates a fun, competitive environment to use to play other people online, to using your legends, creating these potential, dynasty teams with Hall of Famers, with alumni players, icon cards, just amazing talent across. Or you can do what some of our streamers like EVC does, or Laptop Hound, or many others like yourself, Dr. D, where you have theme teams, and maybe you want a team of just Dodgers or just Mets or just Padres, or you want teams of guys named John, and you can play the game however you want and be as competitive as you really want to be. But the idea of creating that fantasy universe that we all wanted to be in as a kid, when you opened the pack of cards and laid them out by position or tried to create a batting order, and that it's sort of like that comes to life through Perfect Team. You have league play, but then you can also do that in tournament play. So for as many cards as there are, one of the things we try to do is get you to use as many cards as you possibly can in your card deck, so you don't have cards that are sitting around. Those common cards that we would have, in out of your deck, like those are still worthwhile because there may be a tournament where those guys fit in. There's a silver tournament, a bronze tournament, different cap tournaments. So there's different ways to play Perfect Team. That has really evolved through the years. When it first started, it was just league play. And then tournaments came in, and then perfect drafts, and then PT Live, and it just creates a different environment of mixing current stars with legends. You could have a team with Aaron Judge and Babe Ruth in the lineup together.
Pretty phenomenal. And what's amazing about this, Nico, and we're going to show people exactly what they can look forward to in Out of the Park 27, is that you can be playing a lot of different ways at the same time. You can play as not infinitely. There's a limit to how many entries you can have. But can you tell us how many entries we can have, and specifically in what categories when we start Out of the Park?
So there's a reason why we're not calling them slots. So there's going to be a reason. We'll learn that later. But they're called entries now. So you will have 4 daily and weekly on the tournament side, 2 quicks, 1 entry fee. The entry fees, that's going to be a little different this year because usually we use those we would bring in some tournaments for that, but usually we use them for pop-ups, for pop-up tournaments that we do to celebrate certain times of year, certain holidays, things like that, just to have a little fun with them. On the perfect draft side, you've got 1 quick, three entries. I almost did that there myself. 3 entries for daily and weekly, and then 1 entry fee. And what these will do is it allows more people to participate. We're going to have a lot. We're starting with more tournaments and perfect drafts at launch than we ever have before. That's due to the growth of the community, the activity of the community, and I'm ready to I had to create sort of like an expansion set in case launch week is going very well, like we had last year, where things were just filling so far in advance. am armed with like a set to put out there on the Monday after launch in case we need it, kind of thing. So that allows for the entries allow for as many people as possible to participate in this tournament world and to be competitive and to get into the standings, which we'll see later what that leads to. And a lot of that stuff isn't changing, but how you get there is going to be changing pretty dramatically.
All right, let's peel back another layer. What's new this year? Let's start with your entry fee challenge tournaments. And
okay,
and this is going to be listed under Quicks?
Yes, these will be under Quicks. These are brand new. This is going to be a lower stakes Quicks tournaments, but they're going to be entry fees. So what we'll do is we'll have one for each tier. They're going to be head-to-head best of 7. The only thing at stake is going to be the perfect points that are used for the entry fee, and only the winner will get it. These will be 4 team or 2 team. So you can literally, I can say, Dr. D, let's jump into this together. I bet you I can beat you in this. And we can literally put both pony up 1,000 perfect points and see who does well in this best of 7 open tournament. Like, I want to take my league roster and face you head to head. And so we'll have those on the draft side as well as the tournament side. Or I can say, I can draft better than you. Let's jump into this OG draft and go head to head and see who comes out on top for 1,000 perfect points.
And you can match up then? How will that matching go? Could I challenge you head to head, or are you going into like, are you signing? How do you match up?
So you can you have to match up offline. So you have to match up through Discord or through our forums or however you communicate with someone. And then you can say, this is the one we're going to do. Some of our affiliate streamers may, while they're streaming, say, I'm in this one, come in here, and someone jump in and challenge me. And it'll create a 1v1 scenario. We'll also have 4-team scenarios. So there'll be 2 brackets of, with the winners moving on to face each other. Again, only 1,000 perfect points to enter. And then the winner of that walks away with 4,000 perfect points. So it's just sort of trying to create a little more of a quick head-to-head environment that people can sort of jump in with each other and sort of challenge each other a little bit to just have some fun. And if this goes well, we can expand on it a little more if people really enjoy these. It's just a simple way to use your entry fee that allows for a little more sort of like bragging rights, camaraderie, adds a little bit of that to the mix. And some people may join them and just be waiting for an opponent as well. But the idea is to get people to sort of like push each other and challenge and have some fun, have some direct fun facing off against each other.
I can't wait to see where that goes.
Yeah.
You mentioned entries and no longer using the word slots. And so what does slot mean in Out of the Park 27?
This is something that I know many people in our community have been waiting for, a new tournament style. And this, ever since I got this job, so going back to when we were in PT 21, this has been discussed. And what this is it's a new style of cap tournament. So this is going to fall into the cap tournament category. It's obviously only on the tournament side, not on Perfect Draft, but in a way, Perfect Draft sort of replicates this. Using your card inventory, there will be a slot tournament that says, okay, you can use 2 perfects, 3 diamonds, 4 golds, 5 silvers, 6 bronzes, 6 irons. If you don't have 2 perfects, it's sort of like in PT Live, where if you don't have 2 perfects or you think there's a diamond card that's better, you can use a diamond card instead. But this will create a different style of cap tournaments where you're capped at the tiers. And this is going to evolve as we go. We're really hoping we'll have this ready for launch. There's been a lot of development, a lot of work going into this to get this done. This is something that we've heard for years, and we've had this on our board since then. Since it first came up, we've had it on our board to get this done. And we are just about to have this. And this just creates a different way for roster construction, a different way to play cap tournaments. And caps can be intimidating because there's a number and you have to use your overalls to add up to get to that number. This is just simple. You have so many perfect cards, so many diamonds, and so forth. And as long as the number matches to 26 cards for a roster, I can make the numbers however I want. So you will see currently in our scheduling, I have a silver tournament. We're here. Let me just look it up real quick. So like the silver breakdown, the way that's going to work, because that's the first time it's going to come in. I don't have a bronze or iron because it's, a bronze would just literally replicate sort of some bronze. So you would start with silver. You would have 14 silver cards, 6 bronze cards, and 6 iron cards. That's the current setup I have right now going into launch for a slot silver tournament. And what that would do for you is just create some decision making, but it's not as, you don't have to worry about that final cap number. You just have to worry about like how the actual card. So if you have on the silver level, you have a bunch of 79s, you can throw them in and you don't have to worry about that sort of number going over the cap limit. It's just capped at each tier. And I think this will create some interesting decision making. And that's what this whole thing's been about. Ever since I got this job, Dr. D, it's been about getting players to make decisions, getting players to feel like they're a GM or a manager or something that like allows them to live in that world with their cards, with their players, to allow them to say, if I do this, this knocks on and changes this, in the different part of the roster. We're trying to replicate that as much as we can in Perfect Team, and slots definitely leads into that. And like I said, they will fall into the cap category when it comes to tournament points and leaderboards and standings. So you will see these, and I will have some quicks in there for people to experiment with. And there's a basic format, the one I described, with 2 perfects, 3 diamonds, 4 golds, 5 silvers, 6 bronze, and 6 iron. That's sort of the basic structure I came up with. But then, like I said, I can tilt it any way I want. And if people have ideas, I'm open to ideas, but I can do 12 perfects, and 14 irons. We can do things like that. As long as it adds up to 26, we can have so much fun with this. And it gives us the flexibility, very much so the way Perfect Draft has, right? It gives us a ton of flexibility to do a lot of things. And I'm really excited to have this. And it's going to start off a little bit slow just to get started. Like I'm not going to have as many of them, but if it starts to really pick up or people really like them, I'll bring them in. That's for sure.
All right. And next up, talking about new additions this year to Out of the Park 27, specifically to Perfect Team. Well, you can't say Out of the Park without park, and more stadiums than ever before. What's coming in with the ballparks this year?
I see. This is something I've wanted. Ever since I first got this job. Again, I wanted to have real parks in Perfect Team. It used to be it was all customizable, but what we wanted here was a good representation of trying to create the environment of being in that park, and you're building your roster to help accommodate that park. We've expanded this a lot in the last 2 years. Last year we got up to 206 parks. That's including our default Heinsohn Park, which is named after Marcus, obviously. Nice nod to him for all the work he's done for us and laying the groundwork for such an amazing game. And I brought in 34 more, varying eras. I kind of did an analysis of like where maybe there were some eras missing. There was one year, Dr. D, where I realized I did not have any stadiums from the 40s. And so last year, or maybe it was for PT 25 or 26, I brought in a bunch of stadiums to fill in those gaps, brought in those Negro League parks that we talked about last year on last year's show. And this year, I wanted to have more varieties of some historical parks. So you'll notice there's quite a few Fenway parks on this list. There's a few Yankee stadiums. There's a few Wrigley Fields. I wanted to have some variety because those parks played different through the years because some of them had different configurations. And I wanted to bring in stuff that was going to change the outlook. And this will lead to, different rotations. You can see the breakdown now is a little more clear. I do have a favorite park that I brought in. I don't know, looking at the list, Dr. D, if you could figure out which stadium from 1886 really got my attention when I was going through the list. And I really wanted to have it there. But yes, Swamp Doodle Grounds is going to be in Perfect Team. I mean, I couldn't help it. That was just such a great name to throw into the mix. And what we'll do with the parks is obviously you see the breakdowns of through the decades of how many parks. So it's a little more even. And I have stadium rotations. So on the tournament side, you're not going to see this as often. You may see it in weeklies. You won't see it in dailies because it may create too much of a dramatic roster change. And I don't want people to feel like they have to micromanage their roster day to day. But on the perfect draft side, these work perfect, these rotations. So if I have an all stadium rotation, that means any of the 240 stadiums can be picked when that perfect draft is generated. So the system will pick a stadium. It'll tell you what the park factors are. And then you can select your cards based on those park factors, or you could some people decide they don't really focus. They just focus on getting the best cards they can get and don't worry about sort of accommodating the park. But I try to have little breakdowns. Some things like, the Detroit rotations, obviously for Sporer and Dish, because they're obviously Michiganders and they want their Detroit parks. I've got a dead ball rotation. There are some stadiums that will be tournament only, that they will only show up in tournaments. But a lot of these stadiums you can unlock as you're going through the league universe. Now, we are changing how you unlock them this year. We will not have anything unlocked above low diamond. So once you get to low diamond, you've unlocked all of the stadiums that you can possibly unlock. Now we will have some stadiums that will be in missions, so we still have a bunch there, and we still have, like I said, the tournament exclusive parks. But as you can see, I looked to try to find some rotations that make things interesting. Maybe there's the home run friendly rotation, the home run suppression rotation, more of a right-handed park, more of a left-handed park. So, when I was picking out parks, I was looking for some of those features that could fall into those rotations as well. Obviously you'd find some Yankee stadiums in the left-handed home run rotation parks, things like that. But obviously, I think I added a couple of Coors Fields to the mix as well. So we needed more of those. We need more fireworks, right, when it comes to Perfect Team and get some offense going. So we try to do as much as we can to try to give people a chance to sort of live in that environment of baseball history, because Perfect Team OOTP does a great job of telling baseball's history, because you're buying this game, whether it's for the 10% discount or you're paying full price at $50, you are getting baseball history in one game, everything. And Perfect Team can help tell the story as you're going along week to week of baseball history. And these parks are clearly a major part of baseball history. And it's sort of the classroom, right? These are the buildings of where all of this stuff took place. And I wanted that represented even more so in Perfect Team. That's why we're up to 240 parks.
All right, class is in session right now with Nico from Perfect Team. We're going to take a time out because we're going strong here. So when we come back on the next episode of Road to Release, we're going to talk about standings. We're going to talk about so much more as the road to the big championship, and we're going to talk about that as well, is upon us. It is the Road to Release, everybody. You can get your pre-orders in right now. And, of course, if you get that pre-order in, you save 10%. You also get a bunch of goodie bags, and you get pre-release access 3 days early on March 10th.